That's important. So I'll just open it. We got a few minutes. I'll open the questions. I'll hang out.
I understand that early intervention and early recognition is key. How early would you say that a doctor or an evaluator would put that label on a child, knowing, at 18 months it's hard to tell if it's just like this kid doesn't share. No kid at 18 wants to share.
I know.
So it's really hard, and I was just wondering how you can distinguish if there's like certain things that you can look at and know that, yes, this kid would have autism rather than just
Well, sometimes you don't know. Sometimes at 18 months, it's like, is it just a delay? And sometimes it is. And then with some intervention, speech therapy, or teaching the parent how to work with the kid, they will come right out of it. So sometimes it's hard to know. So I don't have a specific answer for you. But either or, the intervention actually would be the same. Right? The intervention would be the same, whether they have a delay or they have autism. So even if it's, even if you don't get the diagnosis, the piece is doing the intervention piece.
So the doctor wouldn't actually give you the diagnosis at 18 months. They would just, they'd say possibly, and then keep waiting.
And that's what I've heard a lot more. Is like, I'm not for sure. And actually, I've heard more pediatricians say, I am not for sure. Let's get another eval, which is great. But I've seen some pediatricians in 20 minutes they got autism, and then that can cause issues for you when you go to a school district or you go to something and you're trying to get additional services, because you need a more comprehensive eval and you have to jump through more hoops to do this stuff. Yeah.
And I mean, there's also that label. You don't want it, at 18 months if your child.
Yeah. As a parent, now I do this for a living, right? But when I was a young parent, if I got that label, I'd be like, what happens is we as parents, when we have a kid, we have all these dreams and hopes, right? And then when you hear autism, and people just go, autism? And man, it's really hits them. And so it's hard. So people are really hesitant to diagnose. And the piece I really, I showed that video, it's like, you don't know. I mean, Einstein, you got all these people. I mean, the possibilities are there. You just have to present them to them. And we just don't know. I get the question lots of times, will they live with me forever? Okay. I asked that myself, and I have a typically developing kid when I had to move out. So, and I'm like, we don't know. Because kids' brains are developing until 25. You don't know.
So it's basically just, making aware of the situation that could be a possibility, and then just...
And giving the referrals to get assessments, to get the interventions. Okay, that's the key piece. When people tell, every parent, I bet you talk to every parent that has a kid on the autism spectrum, especially the ones that are probably in teenage years, I bet you every doctor said, just wait. Okay, just wait, just wait, just wait.
Well, I think what I'm hearing is the intervention piece is what's important. You know what I mean? And some of that, you can do some of the things that work, and you have, if in doubt, try some things, try some interventions, try some things to see what's working. It's not going to hurt them.
No, and actually most of it is, it's not really going to. So I have lots of people who are like, they don't have autism. I lost one family who had autism about the one with the Saturn thing, and they were just bound to determine if you did not have it. And I was really sad because it really, and I could feel for it, because I'm like, they saw it as a real devastating thing. I can tell you I have some kids who are really super smart, just brilliant.
I was going to say, sometimes the diagnosis matters in terms of wording, although that's changing, but insurance won't always cover unless you call it autism. Like, we had PDD diagnosis before she was evaluated, and they wouldn't pay for some interventions. I think that's changing because they're changing the definition of autism, but that's sometimes, and I had a friend say, you want this diagnosis because you're going to be able to get this many interventions when you could only get this many. And that it's crazy.
Insurance companies are hard. Today I got something in the mail, it's like, we don't cover that. I'm like, what? And it's not even a kid on autism. And I'm like, okay. And then they don't cover this and they don't cover that. And it's really this whole place, and parents get frustrated because you got to navigate the world. I do have to make a living, but it's hard. So I hope with a new diagnosis, but here's the part, insurance companies, it's expensive, very expensive to serve kids on autism spectrum. And the rate has gone up, 1 in 50. So insurance companies are like, oh my God, how do we get out of not having to pay that? And I hate to say that. There's some great insurance companies. But you do have to get the right diagnosis. But sometimes getting the right diagnosis can work against you and for you. And so, but usually with autism diagnosis comes other mental health issues. And it's hard to distinguish what's what. So sometimes you get services covered under one thing, not another. So, anything else?
If you work with a family and your child, what sort of things do you do? I mean, is it a hands-on treatment type of thing, something that you teach the parents to work with their
there's
child?
several models of treatment. My belief is the parent has the most time with their kid. So if I can teach the parent how to do the intervention, they are going to have the biggest impact on the kid. Okay? Even if you did ABA or you get 20 hours of service a week, which is a lot, there's still a ton of other time. I mean, you get up in the morning, you go to bed, you eat at the table. There's thousands of opportunities to work with your kid on stuff. And so one of the biggest pieces I always tell people is be involved with the treatment option. When you go to the OTPT, when you go to the sensory, when you go to the speech, be involved because you can do those interventions at home. Because the more you're involved, the more you can help your kid. And the other part is people come and go, professionals come and go, right? So then when you start with a new professional, guess what? They might start back at square A, and you're like, no, we've done that. We need to do this, and you're a new person, and he doesn't know you. So, but I think it's important for parents to get the training and the knowledge to do a lot of the work. So what I do, I spend half my time in the homes during a week. I travel 1.5 days a week to rural communities. I work with kids in the school, and I work with the teachers, and I work on the playground. I work in places where I can have the biggest impact with behaviors. I can do anything in my office, okay? Because it's like, it's not very big, right? But it's in my office. I have lots of cool things, and they're gonna be good for me. But at home, when you're trying to put them in bed, that's a different story. And so it's really important. But there's lots of treatment options. Some I like more than others, and but anyway, I think being very involved is key to all that. So, I'll be around afterwards. If you have a question, or my card's out there.